was not that I feared that I would not find home. I actually craved the feeling that maybe I would just get lost somewhere in the middle of nowhere, just to have something to be bothered about, to be vexed about, to be mean about, to be angry about, just to feel yourself that you are being alive, that you are still not dead. All this time, you just needed a signal that you are alive, that this life is different, that you are different. All this time I was craving it, to be different, and maybe, and of course, surreptitiously hoping that this life I was living, that it was not ridiculous, that it was not in vain, that it had a meaning, a goal somewhere, for something, for someone, even if it was just for me. I had to convince myself that this life, with all what it stands for, that it was worth living. And I needed to feel something. Even if it was the deafening melody of my heartthrobs, even if I was lost, stranded, like a crazy person in the middle of nowhere, staring at an open door where a beautiful woman disappeared, which brought me back to life, but I still did not know how to greet that, how to respond to this chance, to this opportunity. How do you respond for someone who wakes you from a slumber? Maybe with hate. Maybe you should fill with hatred because your ideal world crumbled. But yet I was still mesmerized. I was still amazed by what unrolled in front of my eyes. Right at the moment when I seemed to be lost, seemed to walk to nowhere. Maybe I thought that this was a stupid idea after all, a girl who did not recognize me, who just stared at me. But it was this beautiful smile. It was so captivating. It grabbed me. And still there, at this very moment, I could not think about anything else than these beautiful dark eyes, these full lips, these cheeks, and this voice. It was imprinted in my mind, in my brain. It was all over me. Just there. I still thought of her. It was still there. And I just wanted to see her again, just a glimpse. And then I could leave. I could leave, maybe. Hopefully I could leave. Leave back. Leave where? Because my life had changed. I knew it would be not the same again. I would not enter the home same again. This was not the same person again. I had changed. I have seen a beauty. This is what I thought. And it was mesmerizing. It was captivating. But right at that moment, like fate struck. Maybe it was out of nowhere. Maybe she knew that I was following her right at that moment. This beauty, which has conquered my mind, just appears at the door threshold, just stands there and watches me. I cannot tell you how embarrassed I was. I was shocked. I was slapped right in the moment. I saw her. I fleetingly eyed her. I did not dare to see her straight in the eyes. I feared these beautiful eyes would chide me, would deride me. And these beautiful lips, this cheek would say something mean, something awful, which would break my heart. I walked through here, walked through this road, walked all the way here. I escaped the trap, the mundane life, my pathetic, easy life. I escaped it. I fled from it. I distanced myself from the gravestone, from a home, from emptiness and void. I came here, and Now I feared one gaze. I feared one moment when this beauty, when this unfathomable, beautiful creature could slap me, could devastate me with just one frown, with just one chiding gaze. Or I was in her hand, in this very moment. And I feared the answer. I did not know how to respond. I hadn't responded up to that now. I did not even greet. I didn't greet this opportunity, this beautiful creature. I did just stay there. I just stared at it like the moron I am. I stared at it speechlessly. And now I feared a response of my waiting, of my indifference, about my inactive behavior, about all I am, about my life, about the ridiculous dreams I had, about the fact that I have never grown up, stood the same all this year. I have wasted my times. A gaze that could tell me, you are too late. Your life is gone already. A gaze would just devastate me. And there she was. She just stared at me indifferently. I glanced at her. More and more I became more encouraged. I glanced back. I stared at her. Just stared. In all its awkwardness, in all its uncomfortability, in all its madness, I just stared at her. I didn't know what to do. She maybe noticed it. She maybe noticed that I was lost, that I was stupid, that I did not know anything to do, that I could not even bring out words. Just stand there like an idiot, like no one, like someone who has made a great discovery, someone who doesn't even understand himself, doesn't even know what these feelings meant about, and someone who has craved in his life never before, and now he stands there in the middle of nowhere, far away from home, and he's lost, he's an idiot, and just stares into the stupidity, into a beauty, doesn't find any word. Of course, mundane people would find words to describe beauty. Tell them how beautiful they are. Appreciate what has been appreciated before. Express feelings, what have been recorded and told before, what have been told over generations, and they as their inheritance. And the sweet words they had inherited from their ancestors, they would have known what to say. They studied all those love stories. They read all those great tragedies, those loves, those unaccomplished desires. They knew what to say at this very moment. Of course, they were not living stupid dreams. They were not following fairy tales. Of course, they lived on earth. Of course, they arranged their lives to what is close to them, everything that is in close proximity. They would have known in this very moment what to say to this beautiful creature. But I couldn't. I could just think about her, this beautiful hair, these beautiful eyes, these lips, it drew me closer, it captivated me. And with every part of my body, I just wanted to hold her, just for a while, just for the moment I would know what to do with myself, just for a moment. Maybe this all was one of these stupid illusions, one of these stupid ideas, one of those vivid imaginations I had in my youth when I imagined I was this superhero and I could do everything I want, and I so deeply and desperately believed in it that it had to be true, that I put all my strength together to one imagination, to one illusion that I be the superhero, that I could do whatever I want, that I could even turn the earth, fly through the sky. Everything was possible if you put a lot of strength in one thought. But there I was. I did not think about anything. Maybe it was all an illusion, but from where it appeared out of nowhere, it appeared out of nothing, and it grabbed me. It was this sweet melody, this beauty interrupted my muteness, the silence of my life, the grayness, the lifelessness, the void. One sound, one beauty, and all was thrown in disarray. And the only thing I could do is stand there in the middle of nowhere, in stupidity and awe, and she stood there with me. I was not alone, and she stared at me. This beautiful creature had time to spare, just to stare at me, just to look at me. Maybe in fascination, maybe in awe, because she did not see someone like this. Maybe a fool, she did not see someone who was just captivated by beauty. Who knows what mundane people say? Who knows if all these words we say about all these love poems, all these beautiful sweet words we throw at each other, hurl through the walls and sing in melodies, singing song, who knows whether they haven't lost their meaning already, where they have lost all their taste, and they have become themselves boring, bored poetry, empty void poetry about love. And but yet, how can you change it? How can you make every word you give meaning? Yes, in the past they talked about craving, desire, talked about beautiful eyes, lips, and so. But this is now, this is in this very moment. This is me who is seeing it. This is me who is trying to express my mind, trying to understand the images in my mind, these scenes playing up in my head, the cinema which is playing the movie, and I am in reality outside of it, and I'm still trying to catch up to it. What you should do. But she comes closer to me. She came closer to me. My heart was throbbing. I felt dizziness. I felt like I stand somewhere high above, ready to be fall. And these eyes, they would not let go of me. They have captivated me. I could not escape. How could anyone escape? She probably knew the power she had over me. She knew that I could not look away, that I was her captive. She approached me. Step by step, I saw her coming here, and she filled me. My heart was beating faster, and she came to me, stood in front of me, just stared at me. And she looked into my eyes deeply, as if she tried to see something. Someone tried to recognize maybe someone whom she thought is an acquaintance. Who knows? Maybe she tried to see something in me. Maybe I was her savior, like she was mine. Maybe I was someone, or maybe I was no one, and she tried to make out who I was, tried to make an understanding of these plain eyes, of these eyes who have never seen desire before. Maybe she has not seen something like me before. I did not know. But she just stared at me for moments, tried to see something in my eyes, turn them, And her eyes, it felt like her eyes were roaming through my soul, like she